Hi, I'm Claire. My husband and I have two children at Dulwich. Huey is in year 2 and he's 6 years old, and Emma is in reception and she's 4 years old. I attended an open day for Dulwich and I was curious about the school. I'd had friends that had spoke about it very highly. By the time I'd finished that open day, I knew that this was going to be the school for us. So we'd actually been living in Seoul for a few years prior to coming to Dulwich, and I would have to say our world opened up so much more when we came to Dulwich. Not only because of the children and the friendships they acquired, but it was for us and the friendships we acquired. It was the level of involvement and the support from the school to foster those friendships and the sense of community. And it's without a doubt going to be the element that we miss the most when we go to leave. So what we've really found is that the Dulwich program is one that is truly enriching. The variety of programs has floored us so many times in the best possible way. Our son in particular has done cooking, smart blocks, learnt to play chess, and has had so many opportunities to really develop any skills that he wanted to further. When Emma came to the school, she had an awareness and knew the alphabet in a very basic manner. She knew sort of basic sounds, but she can now put them together and actually read simple words, and loves reading and asks us to read every night. We'd never worked with a house system. We're Seoul, go Seoul. But it's been excellent. It's taught our children how to have a healthy level of competition, how to cheer on other teams, and it's actually been so gorgeous to watch our two children cheering on each other at the various events. There's been some particular calendar events that our whole family has had the pleasure of enjoying, from the Winter Bazaar right through to Founders Day, but there's also been a few days that are really run more internally through the school that we've had the opportunity to participate in. So Global Awareness Day was a terrific day, and it really showed the variety of families and cultures that are present at the school, not only teaching the children, but for those of us that had the opportunity to volunteer, it gave us a literal taste of the countries and some of the families that attend Dulwich. I was on the Australian table. Some items were more popular than others. It turns out Vegemite is not a hit. World Kindness Day was a really great event that they had quite recently. Children were invited to wear pastel colours instead of uniform for the day, which they always found to be a bit of fun. And they brought in a 2001 donation to buy a baked good. The baked goods were donated by the parents, so we got to be involved. And also it was just such a great symbolic day to explain what kindness is and the impact it can have on others. One special event that springs to mind was the reception graduation. It was such a huge milestone for the kids, and it was celebrated in the perfect way. Parents were invited to attend the graduation in the auditorium. Children wore their own caps that they had made and decorated, and they went on stage and received a certificate. Each of the children were given a yellow rose to go and give to their parents to say thank you for all their support throughout the year to get them to that place. They also had the most beautiful little cupcakes with each of the child's name written on it, and it was just one of those special days that you know that you're going to remember forever. When I came to the open house at Dulwich, they presented me with a lot of the different opportunities that parents could have to get involved if they wanted to. This really appealed to me, and so when the opportunity came up for Friends of Dulwich to elect a new committee, I put up my hand. I was the Friends of Dulwich marketing manager, and it was a role I thoroughly enjoyed. Not only to work with other parents and see the kids in action, but to dust off some of the skills I hadn't used in a little while. For people that come to Seoul and don't yet have a community, it's a really great way to meet people and to feel connected and to fill your day with moments that matter. The teachers have had a profound effect on us. Last year we had a pretty heavy burden on our family, and we shared that with the school, and they were incredibly supportive. Miss Lee was our son's teacher at the time, and she was constantly checking in and seeing what she could do. She was proactively coming to us with ways in which she could help. In addition to that scenario, she was a wonderful teacher for Huey. Under her guidance, we have watched him thrive. The same goes with his teacher at the moment, Miss Wilson, and she takes a very creative approach to her learning, and he comes home beaming with energetic stories of the day and very, very proud of what he's accomplished under her guidance. Our daughter is very different to our son. She's much more cheeky, I think would be a fair assumption. But it's been interesting to hear her take out of her time in Dulwich. She now aspires to be a teacher, so she can be like her teacher, Miss Small. If I had to list one thing that I'm going to miss the most of my time in Korea, it would without a doubt be Dulwich. I'm dreading the day I have to actually say goodbye, because I do think it could be a teary moment. It's not just the teachers, it's the staff as a whole. Even when I walk through the doors and see the ladies that are sitting at reception, they have definitely become a big part of our community, and I would extend it as far as to say family.